Hi Golf Gang, and here we are now, day 4 of one build a day in 3.16 Scourge League. Today we are on the Occultist Death's Oath character. I've done a lot of videos over the league for this character. It's one of my favourite builds in the game, and I'm hoping 3.17 doesn't nerf it to oblivion. Let's go over the MTX on this character. None, because I have a Death's Oath character in standard already, and that has the MTX. The only thing I've added here is the Scourge Wings, which I was lucky enough to complete the challenges to get. As per normal, no MTX on the gems. Let's go over the gear. The bow is a Marrakech bow for the movement speed only. You don't have to use this bow. The bow, you can use whichever bow you like. The important modifiers on this is the +1 level of socketed gems. After that, we are after the damage over time modifier and the hunter modifier, chaos damage over time. We then multi-mod it to have +2 level of socketed support gems and a further chaos damage over time multiplier bench craft. This one I believe I brought off of trade website with the +3 levels and the fire and additional arrow, and then I've crafted on the chaos damage over time multiplier. I also did the harvest craft as well myself. So in the bow we have our caustic arrow set up. So caustic arrow, that should be a divergent caustic arrow if you're going into alt quality gems, and then we follow that up with void manipulation, which should be awakened, vicious proj and swift affliction. Again, all three of those should be awakened if you're going in top end. Conk effect and a level 3 in power, which is then buffed to level 4 from this particular crafted bow's modifiers. Into the helm we have our Viridi's Veil with the mana reservation node for malevolence, +2 level of socketed gems, and as high as possible all elemental resistance modifiers. That is the two main buffs of they were looking for. I usually go on my standard character, I have 25% to all elemental resistance. It just takes the pressure of getting elemental resists on the tree and or other gear. In this helm we run our Despair, Blasphemy and Tempt Chains, and there sits an enhanced level 3. This league I wasn't able to afford one. As for the quiver, we are looking at a penetrating arrow quiver with the damage over time multiplier, a life mod, chaos resist, and a max chaos resist roll from the hunter modifier group. And then crafted on there we have regenerate 25 life and 43 max mana. This is what I managed to pick up in the league. It's not great, there's no life roll on there, so I've had to craft life, but it does have the max chaos res with chaos res and a damage over time multiplier. As we go into 3.17, I'm not sure what's going to be happening to all these influence modifiers, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. For the chest piece, obviously we're running Death's Oath. It does not need to be 6 linked as long as you've got 6 sockets on there. And I threw the harvest one on there myself, I believe. So to buff the death aura skill, we've got awakened void manipulation, swift affliction, which again would normally be an awakened modifier as well. Again, these are awakened gems. I'm not sure what's going to happen in 3.17, but we'll sort that out. Increased aura of effect, again awakened if you can get it, and efficacy with life tap and less duration. For our boots we have gone for fugitive boots for the implicit chaos resist, then a minimum of a 30% movement speed, and then we're just after life and resist, whichever you need, as much life as you can get with whichever resists you need to cap. In this one it is a 2 link setup and then 2 1 dots. So we've got our Defiance banner in here, and we have our Flame Dash in here with our linked spell totem and Wither. Normally, again, alt qualities would be looking for an anomalous Defiance banner, anomalous spell totem, and an anomalous Flame Dash. In our gloves, these are the gloves that are the most missing. We have Malevolence, which would be our Divergent. We have a Determination, which would be Divergent. We would then have an Enlighten level 3 here, and then this would hold our anomalous vitality at whatever level you put it at, based on mana requirements. Belt, again, this is just going to be strength, high strength as possible, resists with that regen life and mana roll. In end game POB, my Styge has no life because I get it on other areas, but the easiest way is to get a bit of strength on there. Once you get enough strength to put Death's Oath on, what I initially had here was a strength implicit amulet with all attributes on there, and then I put on the Death's Oath, and then I was able to take off the amulet because Death's Oath has that all attributes modifier on there. So by applying Death's Oath, you get the abilities. Just don't take it off because you'll lose the stat to actually wear it. It has a very high strength requirement, 180 strength to wear. Onto the amulet, we have an Impresence with max rolled implicits, and Despair has no reservation if cast as an aura. We allocate it with Heart of Darkness and whack a 20% attribute modifier. So with the belt, we would normally go for either attributes if you needed more strength, or resists if you needed more streets. I haven't done this one because I didn't have the catalysts at the time, and now at this point in the league there is no point. The rings, we go for Vermilion rings, and we make sure they are magic. Max implicit modifier here of 7%. And then as high roll prefix as life as possible. Tier 1 would be awesome. And then we craft on strength and dexterity with the catalyst of attribute modifier to give us the 30 strength and dex. And then on the other side we have again max implicit modifier with the highest tier roll life prefix, and then a elemental resist craft on there just to cap out our resists. And on this one we would have life and mana catalysts. As you can see, I've been working on there, but at this time of the league I can't be bothered to do the last 10%. They're very expensive and I don't have any. In the offhand here we are just leveling up other gems for other builds, so they can be ignored. Flasks, we have our Eternal Life Flask of Assuaging with 100% plus more recovery if used while on low life. The reason for this is because we don't have very many defenses. Our defenses are not that great, but we do have 4k life and a 500 energy shield based on what rolls you get on your gear. So the only time really to need this is when we hit the low life and we hit it and boom, you're back up to max. We have our Quicksilver of the Hair with increased duration prefix and extra movement suffix with reused at the end of this flask effect. We have a Jade, a Granite and Sulphur, all with gain X charges when you're hit by an enemy, with immunity to shock on the Sulphur, freeze and chill on the Granite, and ignite on the Jade. They don't have to be that way around, it's just that's how they rolled, / I brought them, I can't remember which way it was. All 20% qualitied, and the Sulphur's on a 24% from the Benchcraft in what are they called? The Jun things, you know what I mean. Words fail me today, I apologise. So that's the gear and the gem links. I'm missing the Enlighten level 3 here because they're just too expensive this league, and therefore I'm not running the Vitality. Even a level 1 Vitality puts me down to less mana than I need to cast my Caustic Arrow. As you can see, I only get one cast anyway at 51 mana. I have 80, and that just leaves me enough mana to drop a totem. So it's usually a totem and then a Caustic Arrow, and I'm out of mana. As for the skill tree, we start off when leveling the character. I went straight for Void Beacon and then into Withering Presence. So by the time I'm getting hit with Act 5 Kitava, I'm not far off getting this to get my Chaos Resist out of that minus. So that was that. Then I hit Profane Bloom on the next one, and then Uberlab was Malediction. Leveling wise, we came up through here, straight into Practical Application and Heart and Soul, right the way through down the left hand side to Quick Recovery to get the Life Mastery, and I believe I took the 50 max life on there initially, and then came up through here, didn't get these two, up through here, straight up here, more life, and then got the regen life 2 node there. From there we came to the other side and we went down, we got the growth and decay here, all the way through down here, straight into life to finally get what was Vitality mana reservation. But I believe what ended up happening is somewhere around here I switched to get the Vitality mana reservation and then got the life over here. Through here we got all of these nodes, through here, sorry, to Coordination, down to Wasting and Charisma. Again with that should really be probably mana reservation, or did I? Oh no, I've done it up there. Again, there was a lot of, if you watch the videos I've done on this build throughout 3.16, you'll see what I've done, how many orbs of regret I spent, what I changed to get everything to work and fit. We then pick up Revenge of the Haunted with the 10% movement speed, and then we got the bow nodes. Somewhere I picked up the cluster node here, which is Unholy Grace, Unwavering Evil, Wicked Pal. I harvest crafted it for the regen life implicit modifier. It came with the life percent regen on it. We've then got our medium clusters, which is Circling Oblivion and Unwavering Evil, with the regen node on there, and then we've got in here our Hidden Potential, so we're doing extra damage for each equipped magic item. We have got two rings, which is why they're magic, because not only does it give us a buff from Hidden Potential, i.e. 25% damage, it also means we are hexproof and take no extra damage from critical strikes. In the left hand medium cluster, we have Student Decay and Unwavering Evil with increased damage over time, +3 attributes and a reduced chill effect implicit, which I put on there. This we've got a Searching Eye Jewel with the Strength and Dex, because we needed more Strength and Dex modifiers with life and damage over time wielding a two-handed weapon. The cold damage to attacks, whatever it was, I needed the life, the strength, the dex and the damage over time wielding a two-handed weapon. The cold damage to attacks just happened to come with it. Ideally on our cluster jewels, both large cluster jewels will be the same, so that's Unholy Grace, Unwavering Evil, Wicked Power with life regen, or Chaos Res as the small passive also grant. That's both of the large ones. For the medium clusters we are looking at Flow of Life and Student of Decay on one, and then Student of Decay and Unwavering Evil on the other one. Student of Decay is 25% damage over time with 13% to Chaos Res. And for our second cluster setup it is pretty much the same. Unholy Grace, Unwavering Evil, Wicked Pal, and then whichever passive you can get on there. I haven't harvest crafted this one because I didn't have enough regret points left over to take it out to apply the harvest craft, so whatever. And our final medium cluster on here, I've got Flow of Life and Eternal Suffering. So Flow of Life is a damage over time, 4% increased life and life regen, with the 25% increased chaos damage. The other modifiers are relevant, and this holds our Watcher's Eye, which is completely redundant on this build because I am currently not running Vitality. I'm running the Malevolence, so I'm not affected by poison, but I do get affected by the slow effect from poison, which is a bit bizarre, but whatever. It was the life regen we were after more often than not, but as I said, because we couldn't get the Enlighten, we're not running Vitality. So it's a kind of redundant Watcher's Eye. Ideally, if you have the money, you would be running 20% over damage over time while affected by Malevolence, life regen affected by Vitality, and unaffected by Vulnerability while affected by Determination. One or all of those mods would be great. Life regen, the reason we're after so much life regen is because from Death's Oath you take 450 chaos damage per second for 3 seconds on kill. That's almost active all the time because of the way we run our build. So that's the passives, gem links, gear. Oh, sorry, the gloves. The gloves are apothecary gloves, full damage over time, and again we are looking for res, life, whichever res you're missing, life, and as high armor and energy shield rolls as possible, and then whichever mod you want to plump on there as a prefix. I've taken the increased damage while doing any flask effect, so my flasks are up all the time, so I'm doing the damage all the time. It's a low rolled, but again this character hasn't really been touched a lot during its lifespan, and watch the thing. Our final jewel in the build is we have here the Transcendence Mind for the damage over time multiplier, and then finally we are running Zabaqua Glorious Vanity Jewel to turn this node into Divine Flesh. After that it's just, if you have the Divines, change it. This one's got an irrelevant node, 3% increased max energy shield, okay, whatever. 10% light resist is quite handy, 11% increased chaos damage, nice. 8% increased damage over time, and 3% increased movement speed. So I've got 3 nodes in there, which is why I haven't bothered further divining it. Right, let's do some gameplay. I've already got a tier 13 map here. Let's just check Zana because I keep forgetting to do that. There's no map, so I'm going to bother to buy. Right, this is a T13. We will run Jun. Off we go. So, on this build, we automatically activate our Quicksilver Flask and hope we get into some damage. And this is why I love playing Death's Oath. It is just almost like you walk around and everything dies. Okay, I admit this is a very well geared character. This is the character I've spent the most money on, probably about 10, maybe even 15x. I'm just leveling up Ice Nova for another character, so I'm on the wrong filter. Please ignore the gem drop, all the drops. I forgot to change it before starting the video, and now I just can't be arsed. Okay, that's intervention one done. Just kill these so I can talk to the mobs. Oh, Harbinger proc. Boom. Again, apologies for all the loot spam. This character is on the wrong loot filter. No, I'm gonna keep delicious. There we go. This is the character I got all my watchstones on. So I know it can do T16s, it can do Conquerors. As per previous videos, because of my medical conditions, I cannot do Cyrus. I know the build can. If you want to see a Cyrus fight, please go and hit up Baylor Mage. A link to his YouTube will be in the description below. He is the one that got me into this build, and he has took it to the extreme levels in, I think it was 3.15, maybe 3.14, I can't quite remember. But he did this at extreme levels. He did do a Cyrus. I believe it was even a level 9 Cirrus with this build, so he'll be able to show you what it can do. This is also the first time I've got a character to level 96 within a league. Although my death count will probably be quite high. Oh, it's not that bad actually. I am... That's the boss. Quite impressed with myself that I managed to get this character to that high level. There, we've just ignored because we're on the wrong filter. Any more? Yes, apparently there are still more than 50 enemies, so we just keep going. I have done this character in low level delve. I've taken it through all of the labs multiple times. I've done heist with this character. Well, I've still got more than 50. Oh, over there. I've done every single map I've run. This character has done. As I said, it is my favourite build, and I'm hoping that in 3.17 GGG don't mess it up. Based on what they've put out so far, it would seem highly likely that the awakened gems will be harder to get hold of in 3.17, but we'll just have to see how that goes once the actual full details of 3.17 comes out. 4 monsters left, and we're going to be able to find them. Right, there we go. So that is the Occultist Death's Oath character. How I leveled it, this was my second character in the league, so I had a Wanderlust, I had a gold rim. Sorry, I had a Wanderlust, I brought a gold rim. And I leveled it using Caustic Arrow. I brought all the gems. The reason you can't really... Well, you could league start this as a Death's Oath character. It would just be quite difficult because you wouldn't be able to get any of the gems, or most of the gems, without running a mule to get Caustic Arrow. What you would do is you would run a ranger to, I believe it's about level 10, so you could pick up all the early level gems. Then you'd re-roll into witch, go to your stash, pick up the gems at the corresponding levels, run it all the way through to library. I prefer waiting until Act 6 because the gems are then cheaper. But you could either then run to the library or to Act 6 and get all the other gems. Obviously that would be... We're not sure what's happening with the gem vendor, whose name escapes me at this time. Whether they will be available right from the get-go in the hideout, replacing Navali as Prophecy is being deleted. Or whether you'd have to get to a set point, i.e. Act 6, to open her up, in quotation marks, and then she would be available for your hideout. So, not knowing how that's going to happen, I really don't know how, if you could league start this without running the mule. Once you get into somewhere around Blood Aqueducts, you'd probably be able to pick up a Death's Oath, and then just you'll be fine. Once you get the Death's Oath, it's the biggest problem with getting Death's Oath is not getting Death's Oath. You can pick up Death's Oath for about 3C on day 2. It's having the attributes to put on the astral plate, because like I said, it's got the 180 strength requirement. So getting that 180 strength requirement can be quite hard to do. I mean, if you look at our passive skill, we don't pick up that much strength. In fact, we don't even, well, we don't pick up a single strength travel node on the tree. Let's take out the, it's back 1 minute. Yeah, we don't pick up a single strength node on the tree. You would have to get it all on gear. You get 20 from practical application there. Other than that, you might end up having to pick up physique here, running a strength amulet until you get the strength there, probably strength on everywhere to put on the astral plate, and then you might be able to be alright because of the L attribute increase from the plate itself. I wouldn't suggest League starting this character. I would suggest being a second character, so you could then have leveling items and gear and all the gems, making it easier. Without happening exactly know what's going on 3.17, we don't know. The current POB for this character I will link in the description below. I will add in the missing gems for you. I won't add in the alt qualities, but I will add in the missing gems on that POB. But other than that, it will be a direct copy cast of this character as it is. Hope you've enjoyed this rather lengthy build guide video. Have fun, and I hope to see you in the next one.